In the future, they'll teach his name in finance classes, not as a genius, but as a warning. They'll speak of the man who made billions vanish with a smile, who convinced the world to trust a lie dressed in silk and spreadsheets. For decades, Bernie Madoff was the untouchable king of Wall Street, a man whose returns never faltered, whose charm never cracked, and whose empire seemed eternal. But hidden behind polished glass doors and flawless suits was a quiet storm. No trades, no profits, just pages of fiction stacked on billions of real dollars. And when the illusion shattered, it wasn't just his life that collapsed, but the futures of thousands. This is not just the story of the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. It's the story of how blind trust can destroy everything. In the post-war 1960s, Wall Street was a rapidly evolving landscape. Men in tailored suits controlled the economy from skyscrapers, and success was measured in risk and returns. Into this world stepped Bernard Lawrence Madoff, a quiet, ambitious young man from Queens, New York. He wasn't born with a silver spoon. His father failed at multiple businesses. But Bernie had charm, a calm demeanor. People listened when he spoke. With a $5,000 loan and a side table in his father-in-law's office, he created his own investment firm, Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities. This wasn't a man with dreams of average success. Bernie wanted the top, and he wouldn't wait for it. Madoff quickly stood out. He understood market mechanics and, more importantly, investor psychology. In the 1970s, he embraced computerized trading before most even knew what it was. He helped develop NASDAQ and became its chairman. By the 1980s, he had institutional clout. But somewhere along the way, he realized something chilling. He could promise returns without ever making trades, and no one would ask questions. His split-strike conversion strategy sounded complex and brilliant. Too brilliant. And that's what attracted billions. Madoff wasn't just managing money, he was crafting a legend. A few investors raised eyebrows. How could someone deliver consistent returns year after year, even when the market crashed? But they didn't pull their money. They doubled down. Meanwhile, the SEC received multiple complaints. Whistleblowers wrote letters. But Madoff was a respected name, a political donor. He hired his family. He ran his firm like a fortress, closed, silent, and oddly secretive. This was the moment the world could have asked questions. But no one wanted to believe the golden goose was laying fake eggs. In 1999, financial analyst Harry Markopoulos did the math. It took him 5 minutes to realize Madoff's returns were impossible. He spent 9 years trying to get the SEC to listen. He wasn't alone. Several insiders and competitors raised red flags. But each time the SEC launched an investigation, they failed to dig deep. Some didn't even check if trades were real. The irony? The mentor was never heeded. The hero ignored the warnings. And the world let him. By the mid-2000s, Madoff was managing up to $65 billion on paper. In reality, he was keeping a running ledger of fiction. His office floor was split in two. One side, clean, modern, buzzing with real trades. The other, outdated printers, old IBM machines, and a fake records operation run by unlicensed employees. He wasn't running a business, he was running a performance. And the world was the audience. The 2008 global financial crisis triggered a tidal wave of redemptions.
Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%.
The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
Investors needed cash fast, but there wasn't any. The Ponzi machine relied on new money to pay old clients. And suddenly, the flow stopped. His sons, Mark and Andrew, asked questions. When Bernie told them the truth, they were stunned. The man they worshipped was a fraud. They did what few would have. They turned him in. On December 11th, 2008, the FBI knocked on Bernie's penthouse door. Yes, he said, it's all one big lie. Courtrooms filled with victims. Some had lost everything: homes, savings, retirement. Foundations that funded schools and hospitals vanished overnight. Madoff pleaded guilty to 11 federal felonies. He offered no excuses. But the damage was unquantifiable. Several victims took their own lives. Others spent years battling depression and financial ruin. His own son, Mark, would later die by suicide on the second anniversary of Bernie's arrest. Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in federal prison. His name became synonymous with betrayal. In a way, society learned something: how easy it is to overlook evil when it's dressed in wealth, success, and charm. But justice didn't bring healing. Thousands still live in the shadow of his lie. In prison, Madoff lived quietly. No empire, no family. He died in 2021 from kidney disease, still in federal custody. The man who once ruled Wall Street now exists only as a warning. Bernie Madoff died alone in a prison cell, his empire reduced to dust, his name etched into history as a symbol of financial betrayal. But what do we, as a society, take from his story? The elixir in this journey isn't money reclaimed, it's not even justice served. It's awareness, a bitter but essential awakening. His fraud didn't just expose a man, it exposed a system too willing to be fooled, too eager for certainty in an uncertain world. The regulators who failed to act, the investors who never asked questions, the institutions that looked away, we all played a part in building the myth, until the myth consumed us. After the dust settled, change did come. Laws were revised, whistleblowers empowered, the SEC reorganized. People now ask harder questions, demand proof, look beneath the surface. Madoff's destruction, while catastrophic, became a blueprint for prevention. But the deeper truth is this: there will always be another Madoff if we choose comfort over curiosity, silence over scrutiny. If this true story made you think twice about blind trust, hit the like button. Subscribe for more real-life downfalls of the powerful, the praised, and the corrupt. Who should we expose next? Let us know in the comments.